Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I have another quilt block for you. This one is called the Box Quilt Block, and you can see this one's different from a lot of the ones that I've done in the past. This one uses single squares, half square triangles, and some rectangles, and it looks like it's complicated, but it really isn't. You do want to kind of keep track of your diagram so that you get everything put in the right place. And this is also a good block to use your scraps with. So I hope you stay with me and I'll show you how to make the Box Quilt Block. Here are the fabrics you need to make the Box Quilt Block. For A, you're going to need 8 2 by 5 inch rectangles, and you'll need one print of each. So they're each a different print, in other words. And B is also 8 2 by 3.5 inch rectangles, and they are each a different print. C, you'll need 4 2.5 inch squares, and each one of those are going to be a different print. D is your background, and that would be 4 3.5 inch squares. E is also a background, and that's 4 2 inch squares, or 2.5 inch squares. And on the backs of these, you're going to draw a diagonal line. So those C's and the E's are going to go together. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is to make half square triangles. So we're going to use the E and the C squares. So E is your background, and C will be 4 different prints. So we're going to go ahead and do the 2 at a time method for making these. So that is putting right sides together, and you have a line drawn on the diagonal on the wrong side of your E square, and we're going to sew 1/4 inch away from that drawn line on both sides of it. And I'm just going to go ahead and chain piece all of these together. I'm going to come apart and then cut on that drawn line and press, and we'll trim these down to 2 inches square. Okay, so here I have all of my half square triangles. They're all trimmed down to 2 inches square. And next thing we need to do is to lay out all the pieces of the block, so that'll help keep us organized. So, okay, I'm going to lay out all of my pieces before I sew this block together to help keep me from getting confused, because each piece, each unit is made up of different colors. So what I need to do is to kind of match the different sizes up, and the blocks start in the center with the D pieces. So let's go ahead and lay them out. Okay, and the way this is going to work, I'm following my diagram here. You may not have the same fabric I do, but you might want to indicate on your pattern what colors you're putting where. So let's see what we've got here. And I'm going to pair these up. These two are going to go in one block. And let's see, these two are going to go in one block. And I'm going to put these two and these two. So this is the way I want to do it. And I'm going to start with this block up here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my corner unit in. So that's going to go there. Let's see how far over I can get where you can still see it. I can go quite a bit further. Okay, so this is going to go there. And then I need the short piece of this. It's going to go here. The long piece, which is the A, is going to go here. So I've got A and B. And then the long A of that print's going to go there, and the short one here. Okay, and then in this corner, I need the other half square triangle that matches this fabric. So pull that in a little bit more. I know I'm right at the edge of the screen there. So my next block is going to be the blues, and I'm going to put the long one here, and the short one is going to go at the bottom. And I need the blue half square triangles. I'll go here and here. And then the short dark blue, the long dark blue, and then I need the, okay, that block is okay. Okay, so I've got all of those. So I'm going to scoot these up a little bit so I have room to work down here. Now this one is going to be this block. So I'm going to do yellow and go up a little bit further. I'm going to go like that. And here. Oops. That's the wrong piece. This is one reason I need to lay them all out, because I will wind up putting the wrong piece in. Here we go. And then the long yellow goes here and the short one here. So there's that block. And then the last block will be like this. Okay, so maybe that explains why I recommend laying this all out, because it can get confusing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on the centers. So if you look at this piece here, I'm going to do the center square and then put the two ends on it. And on this one, we're working on the two short ends. I'm going to be putting these three pieces together. And on this one, it will be these three pieces, and on this one, it'll be these three pieces. So hopefully that will help. So we're going to do that part first, and then we're going to work on putting the long pieces with our half square triangles together. So these will be going together, just like that. And then we can put all three pieces together to make the corners, or the quadrants of the block. So it's not as difficult once you lay it all out and you look at the pieces and kind of separate them out and how you are going to sew them together. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to adjust the camera and get started sewing. Okay, so we're going to do the center piece with the two short rectangles. I'm going to sew those together. And I'm going to do this one piece at a time here instead of doing a lot of chain piecing. So let's put this other piece on. Just do it however is going to make sense to you and help keep you organized. Okay, so let me show you what we have here. Okay, here's the center of that one piece, and then I'm going to press here in a minute, but I want to go ahead and finish sewing all of these pieces together. Okay, so now I need to sew the half square triangles onto their corresponding rectangles. Okay, so now I have each block is sewn into 3 sections now. After I pressed, I laid everything right back out, so I made sure that I had everything lined up the way it's supposed to be, and I compared it to my diagram. So now I just need to sew these pieces on to each side, and then each of these units will be done, and then I can sew them together into rows. So I'll have 2 rows of 2 sections, and then I'll sew those 2 rows together. Okay, I only have 1 seam to match here, so I'm just going to nest that seam and pin it in place, and then go ahead and sew these together. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip this around and sew on the other side, and I'm going to open this up and make sure I'm getting this on the right way. And you want your half square triangles to be on opposite corners, so that's one way you can tell, make sure you've got that on there correctly. And just one more seam to match again. No points to match at this point anyway, just seam. And if your pieces are a little bit longer, that's okay. You can trim these down when you get everything sewn together. Okay. All right. So here is one unit. And I'm a little bit longer down here, so I can always trim that off and after I press it. So I'm going to put that one down. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down the way it needs to be in the block. And this move on to the next section. I'm checking to make sure I have everything turned the way I want it, and looks like I do. So now I need to sew these together into rows. So I have a seam here to match. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that right there. Okay, here we have 2 rows now. So there's the top row, and here is the bottom row. So I'm going to press this seam, and then we're going to stitch the 2 rows together. Okay, here is the completed block. So I think it turned out pretty well. I think the trickiest thing is not getting all your pieces mixed up. So that's why I recommend laying all the pieces out before you sew them together into each section, and keep referring to your diagram, and once you get sections sewn together, lay them back out in the order that you want them, and I think you'll come out with a nice block. Well, that is it for the box quilt block. I think it turned out really well, and I think this would be a really interesting block to make an entire quilt using this block. It's something good to use your leftover scraps with and have a little fun with the color placement. So if you like this video, please click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links, and to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.